found among teachers, nurses, security officers, community health promoters, firefighters, athletes, fishermen, and farmers. In a special way, Your Excellency, I want to take this opportunity to applaud the departed former Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, as an outstanding and awesome Mashujaa whom Kenyans are celebrating for championing multi-party democracy, constitutional reforms, promoting and defending devolution, and advocating for justice, rule of law, and inclusive governance. Your Excellency, in order to promote inclusive economic growth, your government has been implementing projects in our county focusing on agriculture, micro, small, and medium enterprises, rural electrification through the last mile connectivity program, roads and allied transport infrastructure, housing, healthcare, tourism, technical and vocational training, and the creative economy, including adoption of digital technology, music, arts, and sports. In appreciation, Your Excellency, kindly allow me to briefly highlight some of the projects that your government has undertaken recently in preparation for Mashujaa Day celebrations in Kitui Municipality, and these include the construction of this 10,000-seater Ithookwe Stadium, the construction of the Kitui Mini State Lodge, 3, the rehabilitation of the Ithookwe Airstrip, 4, the expansion of rural electrification program to cover an additional 750 households. 5, upgrading to bitumen standard several roads within Kitui Municipality. Your Excellency, there are 2 roads which were identified, tendered for, and recommended for award and implementation by KERA as part of the roads to be undertaken in preparation for Mashujaa Day to serve as entry and exit roads for the Ithookwe Stadium and the Kitui Airstrip. I would like to request you, sir, that they be implemented as initially planned to be ready for your commissioning when you come back to Kitui, and I believe very soon. These roads are Mulutu, Edhiani, Tiva, Kiliko Junction, and Makutano, Maithookwe, Mbusiani, Dhimani, Kolania to Edhiani Road. Your Excellency, there are other projects that are currently being undertaken and others earmarked for implementation by your government. These include markets. 2 have been completed, one at Kakongo in Mwingi West and another one in Kamuwongo in Mwingi North, and 10 others which have been proposed for construction. Then there is housing, the proposed construction of over 2,000 affordable housing units in Kitui, Mwingi, Mutombo, and Kabadi towns, in line with your commitment to provide decent and affordable housing for low and income households in all parts of the country. The proposed upgrading, also, Your Excellency, the proposed upgrading to bitumen standards of key roads such as Kwasikum Bodoni Road, which you are to launch on Wednesday, when we got the sad news that the late Right Honorable Raila Odinga has left us, and programs which you had to be rescheduled. Then there is Kamuwongo Kanduya Road, which is in Mwingi North. Then there is Chuluni, Zombe Mwitika Road, which is in Kitui East. And then there is Ikuda Kanzikumuda Road, which is in Kitui South. Your Excellency, we have some proposed construction projects which some have started, others are just about, and this includes student hostels at Seku and all the KMTCs in Kitui, that is in Mwingi, here in Kitui, and in Mutombo, and also at the Kabati Vocational and Training Institute. The proposed establishment of the Kitui Utalii College, and we signed a memorandum of understanding with the Kenya Utalii College to establish such a campus in the course of this year or early next year. The establishment of 6 technical and vocational training institutes which are complete and are in use, and also the Kitui Livestock Training Institute and a modern livestock feedlot facility at Kanyonyo, which are intended to train mid-level professionals and to enhance the livestock value chain respectively. Also, Your Excellency, we have the ongoing construction of the proposed Kitui County Aggregation and Industrial Park at Kanyonyo, which is about 45% complete, and where aggregation and value addition of agricultural produce will take place. Also, in tourism, we have the rehabilitation of the South Kitui Game Reserve, a project where we are collaborating very closely with Kenya Wildlife Service. Your Excellency, we kindly request that you consider prioritizing the completion of the following projects. 1, Umar Dam, which is ongoing, but the contractor is like he has abandoned the site, claiming his certificates are not being honored. Please let something be done about it so that he can complete that project. And thank you very much, really, for having it restarted, because it stalled some time ago. If we can wind up. Yeah, soon. Then there is a Kedhombwani market in Kitui Town. Your Excellency, we thank you for instructing the PS Housing sometime in 2025 to work with our county towards the financing and completion of the said market. The other project is the Ienziu River Bridge, a critical project initiated after the December 4th, 2021 tragedy that claimed over 30 lives. And the other one is a project which has been started, which is Wikililia Kabisuni Ithookwe Dam. There are a number of other projects which are listed here, but because in the interest of time, I will not go through them. We believe, Your Excellency, you will be visiting us very soon as you had planned. We are going to put the projects which were proposed by the leadership in this county, that is members of parliament, as well as members of the county assembly. And I know it will not be good for me to go through all of them. Your Excellency, we acknowledge that you had initially planned to visit Kitui last week to launch several development projects across the country. This would have accorded the leadership of the people and the people of the county a valuable opportunity to meet and discuss some of the development priorities of our county with you. However, in light of the passing of the former Prime Minister, you called off all scheduled public engagement as a mark of respect to our departed hero, a gesture for which we commend you highly. Your Excellency, as I conclude, I wish to take this opportunity to thank the Mashujaa Day technical and steering committees, which were led by Mr. Makori and PS Raymond Omondolo, respectively, and as well as the regional commissioner and the county commissioner and the county security committee for the way we have worked closely, consulting and solving any problem which arises in a very amicable way. Let me reaffirm our shared commitment towards the implementation of projects that positively transform the lives of our people. And may this Mashujaa Day rekindle our spirit of service, patriotism, and unity as we build a stronger, more prosperous Kenya. Thank you, Your Excellency. Asante ni sana. God bless Kitui. God bless Kenya. Asante.
Tumpongeze tena kwa makofi Governor Dr. Julius Malombe. Kwa sasa Mheshimiwa Rais, naomba unipe ruhusa nimkaribishe His Excellency the Deputy President of this great nation, Professor Abraham Kithure Kindiki. Tumpigie makofi tafadhali akija. Karibu sana naibu wa rais.
Your Excellency President William Ruto, Your Excellency First Lady Rachel Ruto, Your Excellency President Faye, President of the Republic of Senegal, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Mozambique, fellow Kenyans, we gather here today on this Mashujaa Heroes Day to remember, reflect, and consider where our country has come from. Your Excellency, sir, as you continue to lead us in this reflection, we continue to remember the many people who have sacrificed their time, their lives, and their comfort for our freedom. And even at this time, as we continue to mourn the departure of our former Prime Minister, one of the greatest Kenyans to ever walk on our soil, we remember many more, those who have gone before us for selflessly protecting our sovereignty, defending our dignity, and emancipating the black person from colonial domination, for expanding our political rights and freedom, and expanding and perfecting our democracy. What remains is now to strengthen the foundations of our country, perfect the economic well-being of the people of our country, and as you lead us, Your Excellency, the future of Kenya looks certainly good because of the labor that those who came before us have put, and because of the labor that you continue to put, Your Excellency, and putting us together, even as we take the vision of our forefathers forward. Mbaito muyaseo, mbaito muyaseo, muyaseo enge, muyaine museo, namavirao there. Your Excellency, the President, today is not my day. My task is very simple. My task is to ask you, Your Excellency, sir, to address the nation on this very special day in the history of our country. Mr. President, welcome. Karibu sana Mheshimiwa Rais.
Asante sana. Ndugu wana wa Kitui, hamjambo? Kitui hoye! Mbaito muyaseo! Muyaseo inge! Muyaine museo! Namavinda onde! Muyaiya taiwe! Bwana Yesu asifiwe! Hebu nione kwa mikono. Bwana Yesu asifiwe! Asanteni sana, tunaweza kuketi chini. Your Excellency, Bassirou Diomaye Faye, President of Senegal. Your Excellency, Madam Adriano Alfonso Melain, Prime Minister of Mozambique. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, fellow citizens, Before I make my statement, wakati tulikubaliana na tukaamua ya kwamba sherehe ya Mashujaa mwaka wa 2025 itafanyika hapa Kitui kwa mara ya kwanza, nilitafuta marafiki na leo tuko na bahati ya kuwa na rais wa Senegal, nchi rafiki, nchi ya Kenya. Ametutembelea sio tu Kenya, lakini ametutembelea hapa Kitui siku ya leo. Na vile vile nilimuuliza rafiki wetu mwingine, rais wa Mozambique, na kwa heshima kubwa alikuwa na shughuli nyingi, lakini ametuma Prime Minister wa nchi ya Mozambique na yuko hapa Kitui pamoja na sisi. Jameni, mnawakaribisha hawa marafiki zetu, mnawakaribisha hawa wageni wetu. Wapi nduru ya hawa wageni wetu jameni, watu wa Kitui? Kweli naona mmewakaribisha. Wacha nimualike in a very special way my brother Faye on behalf of the government and people of Kenya. We don't take it for granted that you have taken time out of your busy schedule at home to come and visit us and participate in this national celebration, not necessarily in our capital city, but in our town of Kitui. We don't take it for granted, Mr. President, and the people of Kitui sincerely appreciate that you have made time to come all the way. I will now request you, Mr. President, to make some remarks as we celebrate our Heroes' Day here in Kitui in Kenya. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, my dear brother William Ruto, ladies and gentlemen, members of the Kenyan government, honorable members of the National Assembly and Senate, honorable members of Judiciary, ladies and gentlemen, members of the Diplomatic Corps, the Honorable County Governor of Kitui, ladies and gentlemen, habari za asubuhi. Before I begin, I would like first to take this opportunity to renew the heartfelt condolences of the people of Senegal to the brotherly people of Kenya on the passing of Mr. Raila Odinga, a former Prime Minister and a great leader in the political history of Kenya. I pay tribute to the memory of the illustrious departed and express my deep compassion to President Ruto, to his family, and to the people of Kenya. May his soul rest in peace. I would like to thank President Ruto for the warm welcome and all the attention we accorded to me and my delegation since our arrival in this brotherly country, home to the wonders of Masai Mara and Kilimanjaro. I am here in the invitation of my brother, President William Ruto, as a guest of honor on this day celebrating Kenyan heroes. I express my gratitude to him for this gesture that shows the excellent quality of relations between our two countries. I'm also here because I'm deeply committed to the duty of remembrance. Our heroes deserve all honors. They deserve our respect. They deserve our admiration. The celebration of Kenyan heroes who risked their lives fighting for the independence of their country is a great tribute that commands respect and pride. The members of Mau Mau National Liberation Movement suffered fierce repression at the hands of those whose sole aim was to perpetuate the colonial order. Jomo Kenyatta, Achieng Oneko, Bildad Kagia, Fred Kubai, Kangu Kurumba, Paul Kay, and their companions suffered the worst horrors of the colonial power, leading to the death of thousands of Kenyans, countless arrests, torture, and massive imprisonment. Their fate is a reminder that colonial history is not just about enslavement, but also and above all about struggle, dignity, and justice too long delayed. I would like to seize this opportunity to pay tribute to these worthy sons and daughters of Kenya and African whose memory must be etched out into our collective consciousness. I admire their courage and determination in the anti-colonial resistance. With their blood and sweat, they wrote a great page in the glorious history of liberation. Ladies and gentlemen, colonial repression was not an isolated case in Kenya. We suffered the same in Senegal, where anti-colonial national resistance movements blossomed against the European imperialist power offensive in Africa. Our fellow countrymen suffered unspeakable repression. For instance, on December 1944 at Charoy Black Barracks, innocents and unarmed Senegalese riflemen, along with their brothers in arms from other African countries, were massacred by the colonial power. Their only crime was to demand the payment of their allowance, bonuses, and other entitlements. This was one of many premeditated criminal acts, and the facts are undeniable. Out of duty of remembrance, truth, and justice, we cannot forget these horrors, nor the sacrifice of our national liberation heroes and founding fathers of our nation. The full history must be recalled. These valiant sons and daughters of Africa must be celebrated because celebration is an educational tool in the transmission of our values and virtues. This is why I initiated a series of activities to pay tribute to all victims of slavery, colonialism, and all past injustice. The first such initiative was to commemorate the 18th anniversary of the massacre of Senegalese riflemen last year. We are preparing to mark the second edition on December next, in communion with the 16 other troops contributing nations to the regiment commonly known as Senegalese riflemen. Ladies and gentlemen, To consolidate these various remembrance initiatives on the African continent, it is vital that we develop synergy in our efforts. I am on the view that to reclaim our history and restore the memory and dignity of these valiant Africans, we need to take several steps, including, first, build monuments and museums in honor of our heroes to serve as open spaces of reverence and remembrance. Second, build documentation and research centers to keep records, testimonies, and narratives about our heroes, while supporting research and education on this history of great African resistance fighters against slavery, colonialism, and worse form and injustice. Third, our streets, public squares, and buildings shall bear the names of our heroes so that their sacrifice and feats of arms be etched into our daily life and collective history. Fourth, teach our history in our education curricula. Thus, future generation will grow up with a thorough understanding of these episodes of our past. Fifth, initiate throughout Africa days dedicated to our heroes, like the one we are celebrating today. This is what will sustain the memory of our heroes, just as sustainable energy solution, the theme of this year's celebration, will help transform our lives. With the mastery of energy and sufficiency production capacity, Africa shall build the foundation of her development, the engine for her economic transformation, and foster technological and social innovation. Long live to memory of Kenyan heroes. Long live the memory of African heroes. I thank you for your kind attention.
Wapi makofi ya Rais wa Senegal jameni. Asanteni sana. Sasa nimuite kwa heshima kubwa Mama Prime Minister wa kutoka nchi ya Mozambique. You're welcome, Your Excellency, to make your statement. Please. Karibu.
Habari mchana. Sua Excelência William Ruto, Presidente da República do Quênia. Sua Excelência Bassirou Faye, Presidente da República do Senegal. Excelências, minhas senhoras, meus senhores, todo o protocolo observado.
Your Excellency William Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya. Your Excellency Bassirou Faye, President of the Republic of Senegal. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed.
Iniciamos a nossa intervenção transmitindo as calorosas saudações e cumprimentos de Daniel Francisco Chapo, Presidente da República de Moçambique, a todos aqui presentes e, em particular, ao povo amigo e irmão queniano que hoje celebra o Mashujaa Day, Dia dos Heróis.
I begin my remarks by conveying warm greetings and best wishes from His Excellency Daniel Francisco Chapo, President of the Republic of Mozambique, to all those present here today, and in particular to the friendly and brotherly people of Kenya, who today celebrate Mashujaa Day, the Day of Heroes.
Manifestamos os nossos mais sentidos pésamos e condolências ao povo, governo queniano e a família enlutada pelo desaparecimento físico de Sua Excelência Raila Odinga.
We extend our deepest condolences and heartfelt sympathy to the people and government of Kenya and to the bereaved family on the passing of the late Right Honorable Raila Odinga.
Com seu desaparecimento físico, Quênia e todos os países africanos perdem um verdadeiro nacionalista cuja voz continuará a ecoar na luta por uma sociedade mais justa e democrática.
With his passing, Kenya, and indeed all African nations, have lost a true nationalist whose voice will continue to resonate in the struggle for a more just and democratic society.
Excelências, as festividades e comemorações do Dia de Heróis que hoje aqui assinalamos, para além de ser um momento de recordações e homenagens, constitui um momento de introspecção e reflexão de uma nação sobre os feitos dos seus melhores filhos que lutaram, morreram e sacrificaram por uma causa tão nobre que é de libertar, construir, preservar e consolidar o seu país.
Excellencies, the festivities and commemorations of this Mashujaa Day, which we mark here today, are not only a time of remembrance and tribute, but also a moment of introspection, reflection for a nation, and time to honor the deeds of its finest sons and daughters who fought, died, and sacrificed for the noble cause of liberation, nation building, preservation, and consolidation.
Recordar os pais fundadores do país, Jomo Kenyatta e seus 5 companheiros, assim como outros heróis conhecidos e anônimos, é um ato de preservação da história coletiva do povo queniano.
To remember the founding father of the nation, the late Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, and his compatriots and contemporaries, including the members of the Kapenguria Six, as well as other known and unknown heroes, is an act of preserving the collective history of the Kenyan people.
Esta efeméride é também de reafirmação da sua visão, valores e determinação, elementos estes que continuam a servir de alicerce e bússola para a contínua construção de uma Quênia que se pretende cada vez mais desenvolvida, justa e inclusiva.
This occasion is also one of reaffirmation of Kenya's vision, values, and determination, elements that continue to serve as the foundation and compass for building a Kenya that aspires to be ever more developed, just, and inclusive.
Os seus ensinamentos, ideais e valores continuam vivos, não só no seio dos quenianos, como também dos povos africanos, constituindo ferramentas e referências fundamentais para que continuemos a construir e a consolidar as conquistas até aqui alcançadas.
Their teachings, ideals, and values remain alive, not only among Kenyans, but also among the peoples of Africa, serving as essential tools and points of reference as we continue to build upon and consolidate the gains attained thus far.
Na unidade reside a força, liberdade e dignidade que todos almejamos.
In unity lies the strength, freedom, and dignity we all seek.
Termino agradecendo pelo convite endereçado a Moçambique para participar nas celebrações desta efeméride tão importante para o povo queniano e agradecendo a hospitalidade que nos tem sido concedida desde a nossa chegada.
In conclusion, allow us to express our sincere appreciation for the invitation extended to Mozambique to participate in the commemoration of this occasion, which is of great importance to the people of Kenya.
Muito obrigada. Asante sana.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Prime Minister. Wapi makofi ya mama Prime Minister wa kutoka Mozambique jameni. Asanteni sana. Today we gather as a nation, as one people, here at Ithookwe Stadium in Kitui to celebrate Mashujaa Day, our National Heroes Day. Mashujaa Day is an occasion for remembrance, for celebration, and for reflection, and also a day for renewal. As you all know, yesterday, we bid farewell to one of our country's most consequential and impactful sons, a towering statesman, a resolute patriot, and a quintessential hero, the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, our former Prime Minister. This is the man, the legend, and the Pan-Africanist to whom we dedicate this Mashujaa Day. It is for this reason, fellow citizens, in his solemn memory, that I invite us all to now stand and observe a moment of silence in honor and celebration of his remarkable life and service to our great country, our continent, and to humanity. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Sons and daughters of our motherland, Kenya, Raila Amolo Odinga aspired and labored for a Kenya that is free, that is fair, governed by the rule of law, and filled with limitless opportunity for all of us. Baba envisioned and fought for a nation where, in the immortal words of our national anthem, justice is everyone's shield and defender, where we all dwell in unity, peace, and liberty, and a Kenya that has plenty within its borders. It goes without saying that it is precisely because of great and irrepressible giants like Raila that we find within ourselves the courage and inspiration to go further, to dream bigger, and to pursue higher ideals. For greatness and nobility are never achieved by settling for the ordinary or the comfortable. They are seized by those who dare to push the frontiers of possibility, by those who refuse to be confined by what is, but instead reach boldly for what could be. It is in that restless, relentless pursuit of higher ideal, in that unyielding spirit of aspiration, that humanity advances and nations rise. For it is only by stretching beyond our limits that we discover our true strength and fulfill our full destiny. Fellow citizens, as we emerge from a week of profound sorrow and reflection, and as the nation continues to observe the 7 days of mourning on the passing of our former Prime Minister, it is both fitting and worthy that we anchor this year's Mashujaa celebration in the extraordinary and consequential life of our departed legend, the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. In honoring his memory, we also draw from his journey of enduring lessons of courage, service, and unyielding love for country. The first lesson that Baba taught us is to put country above self. Time and again, he reminded us that no disagreement is greater than our unity, no ambition more important than our peace, and no personal interest higher than the welfare of our nation. He famously declared that he would shake the hands of his rivals, whether he won or lost, because he loved Kenya more than he loved Raila Amolo Odinga. That was the measure of the greatness of a man. Early this year, when I invited him to address our cabinet retreat, Baba reiterated the need to ensure, above all else, that Kenya remains a stable and a secure nation. He reminded us that we may hold lofty visions and great ambition, that we may dream big, daring dreams, but without a country and a stable political environment, they would remain mere wishes. Perhaps, more significantly, he told us that an imperfect nation striving for perfection is far better than one that is consumed by chaos and anarchy. And he could readily point to countries in our region that were once stable, but later descended into turmoil and disorder, and decades on, they are yet to regain their stability. There are people still enduring untold suffering and loss. This is the critical lesson that those who criticized and faulted Baba for working with us to stabilize the nation forget or refuse to acknowledge, or they just simply don't care. When some saw the opportunity to bring down their competitors, even if it meant bringing down the country, Baba chose the stability of Kenya. For Agwambo, the specter of a failed state was too grave to contemplate. He understood that leadership is not about personal pride, but about preserving the republic, not about victory in politics, but about preserving the stability of the nation we love, Kenya. Second, fellow citizens, Raila's love for Kenya was deep, steadfast, and unconditional. He once told us that if he were to die and God asked him where he would wish to be born again, he would say without hesitation, "Take me back to Kenya." Such was the depth of his devotion to our beloved nation. He knew that Kenya, like all nations, was not perfect, that nation building was work in progress, that it is only renewed with every generation. He understood that we are an imperfect people, always striving towards a more perfect union. Yet even in our flaws, he saw magic and beauty. In our struggles, he discerned promise, and in our contradictions, he could pick out hope and unity. To Raila, there was no place on earth more worthy of devotion, no people more deserving of faith, and no dream more noble than the Kenyan dream. Thirdly, Baba's life was an example of always choosing and closing ranks for the common good. When our nation faced turbulence last year, for example, I reached out across the political divide. Baba was the first to come to the table to help steady the ship of state, leading to the formation of the broad-based government that has since stabilized our economy and our nation. That is what heroes do. When the stakes are high, they rise above partisanship and put the country first. Even during the last election campaigns, when fate placed us once again on opposite sides of the political divide, Baba spoke words that will echo through generations. He said, and I quote, "I have been to the mountaintop. I have seen the glory land.